Okay, so we're about to step into a world most people never get to see, the high-pressure, super-cooled heart of a massive factory. And our guide on this journey? Well, it's not a person. It's this document, the engine room's daily log. Now, I know, it looks kind of boring, right? But trust me, this thing is the key to decoding a system of just incredible power and precision.
So, what is it? What keeps all that stuff frozen? Well, the answer is this powerful, totally invisible system that's running 24/7. We're talking about a world of immense pressure and, mind-boggling engineering. And today, we're going to see how a simple piece of paper, this daily log, is what keeps this incredible force safely under control, day in and day out. All right, so here's our game plan, our guided tour, if you will. First, we'll dive into the factory's hidden heart. Then we'll look at the daily health check, what that even means. We'll read the vitals, talk about the human senses, yep, you heard that right, cover safety above all, and then finally, we'll get to the bottom of why this log really matters.
Okay, let's get started. Our first stop takes us right into the core of this whole operation. And I want you to understand, this isn't just some room with a bunch of noisy machines. No, this is the powerful, beating heart that keeps the entire facility alive and running.
So check this out. Think of these massive compressors as, literally, the heart of the system. And what are they pumping? Well, they're pumping ammonia. That's the system's lifeblood, through this huge network of industrial-sized veins. And that's what creates the incredible cold you need for everything, from flash-freezing food to keeping all the other factory processes cool.
So, you've got this powerful heart, right? How in the world do you make sure it stays healthy? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. You give it a daily checkup. And this is its health chart, the engine room log.
And let me be clear, this is not just a suggestion. This is a super meticulous checklist that operators have to complete every single day. Actually, twice a day. Once in the morning and again in the afternoon. Every critical piece of machinery, like this compressor right here, gets its own detailed inspection.
So you can see, this log is so much more than just a piece of paper. It's a formal, legally required, systematic record. It's tracking performance, it's verifying safety rules are being followed, and it creates this crystal clear history of who was watching over the system on every single shift.
All right, so let's get into what's actually on this thing. The first part of the checkup, it's exactly like a doctor checking a patient's vital signs. The operator isn't just, glancing at a bunch of gauges. They're actively translating these raw numbers into an actual assessment of the machine's health. For example, take this number, pulled right from the discharge pressure reading on our log sheet, 180 psig. I mean, what does that even mean, right?
Well, PSI just stands for a pounds per square inch gauge. And to give you some perspective, the tire on your car is probably sitting at, maybe 35 psi? So this one component is constantly dealing with more than 5 times the pressure of a car tire. That's the kind of insane force we're talking about here, all contained and perfectly controlled.
Okay, here's another key vital sign from our log. This time, we're looking at the oil pressure, 70 pounds per square inch.
And boom, this brings us right back to our heart analogy. That specific oil pressure, that's what keeps all the moving parts inside that compressor, the heart of the system, lubricated and working just right. If it's too low or even too high, you're not just looking at a small problem. You're risking a complete, catastrophic breakdown.
But here's the thing, the checkup doesn't stop with the numbers. The inspection really has 2 halves, and they're both equally important. On one side, you've got all the hard data, right? The pressures, the temperatures, the runtime hours. But on the other side, you have checks that a sensor or a computer just can't do. And this is where the human element becomes absolutely crucial.
I mean, think about it. No matter how advanced our technology gets, there are just some things that can only be caught by the trained eyes, ears, and even the hands of a skilled technician.
This line right here, this is pulled word for word from the log sheet. Just let that sink in for a second. It's not asking for a number from a gauge. It's asking for a human judgment call, a call based purely on experience. What counts as an abnormal sound? That's something you only learn after spending thousands of hours in that exact room, listening to that exact machine.
And the whole log is filled with these kinds of sensory checks. The operator is actively listening, for some new whine or a weird clatter that wasn't there yesterday. They're looking for tiny little signs, like frost buildup that could mean a leak, or checking for an oil spot on the floor. They might even literally place a hand on the machine to feel for a vibration that just feels off. You can't program a sensor for that.
Okay, so now we get to what is without a doubt the most critical part of this entire daily ritual. Because every single check we've talked about, whether it's a number on a gauge or a funny sound, it all points to one primary goal: safety. This log is specifically designed to make sure that multiple overlapping layers of protection are all working perfectly. And believe me, this is just a tiny piece of the safety protocol. The log forces the operator to go step by step. Are the ammonia detectors armed? Check. Did you visually inspect the emergency ventilation fans? Check. Are all the physical safety guards bolted down tight? Check. They even have to make sure that every single exit door is clear and can be opened easily. It's not about reacting to a problem, it's a proactive defense to prevent a disaster from ever happening.
So, okay, we've gone through the crazy pressures, the weird sounds, all the safety checks. Let's zoom out for a second and ask the big question. Why? Why does this simple piece of paper matter so much?
Well, it's because every single one of those little check marks has a huge purpose. It's there to protect the workers and the public. It's there to prevent those catastrophic equipment failures we talked about. It ensures the whole facility runs efficiently, and on top of all that, it creates an undeniable paper trail of accountability. You know exactly who checked what and exactly when they did it.
And really, it all comes down to this. When an operator puts their initials in that little box, it's not just them saying, "Yep, task done." It's a signature. It's a personal promise that they have used all of their training, their senses, and their professional judgment to declare that this immensely powerful system is safe and sound for another shift.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? I mean, from the airplane you fly in to the power grid that keeps the lights on, so much of our modern world is built on these quiet moments of focused human responsibility. It makes you wonder, what other invisible systems are you counting on today, without even knowing it?